Welcome, new hires in APAC. Thanks for joining GitLab and thanks for your questions. Jim, you want to start us off?
Sure. Hi, Sid and team. Thank you for the warm welcome to the business so far. Week one officially for me. My first question is around hyperscaler partnerships. I've been through this situation before, and being front and top of mind, with the likes of Amazon, Google, etc., it's hard to stay top of mind. Do you have any advice that kind of leaves it as a no-brainer that when we have a conversation with our friends that are technology partners, that it becomes an aha, no-brainer that GitLab is front of mind for every interaction they have and bring us into more opportunities?
Yeah, great question.
Thank you.
Certainly not easy.
Mm,
I think one data point that we've seen is that when customers switch from DIY DevOps to GitLab, they are able to switch to cloud workloads faster.
mhm.
To switch their workloads to the cloud faster. Sorry, I said that wrong. So basically, it's easier to first standardize on one DevSecOps platform, and with that, a methodology,
Mhm.
and then kind of bring those workloads switch those workloads to the new cloud. So we've seen that again and again, and it's super powerful. There's a second effect, which we're only just starting to see, and I'll comment on that in the after the public stream.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. Would you like me to proceed with the second question or
Yeah,
pass to
please
someone
go
else? Sure.
ahead. And thanks
Thank
for
you.
being the first question asker.
No worries. Thank you. So I've just spent the last 12 years at Salesforce prior to joining GitLab, and the last 5 years I was leading the MuleSoft solution engineering function. As the MuleSoft got brought into the Salesforce economy, we saw the conversation shift from, a lot of technical stakeholders to a lot of the C-suite. And it was important for my team to be able to have that technical conversation, but underpin it with being able to articulate the business impact of the platform as well, such as reducing, total cost of ownership, reducing tech debt, and then at the same time, uplifting revenue and customer satisfaction, etc., with the impact of the platform. We're going through a similar shift, with product-led, sales-led type conversations. Do you have any advice for how we articulate the value as SAs to business stakeholders in addition to technical stakeholders? Long-winded, I know, but thank you.
Sorry, can you repeat the last sentence
Yeah, sure.
as we switch to kind of more C-suite stakeholders?
That's right. Yeah. How do we, SAs in particular, articulate the value to
Yeah,
the C-suite?
great question. I tried in a couple of ways. First of all, I think like finding people in the same industry seems to resonate. So I try to find case studies that are relevant. Remember, other customers that have had success with GitLab, offer to introduce them, or try to have them both at the same event. Like
Hmm.
you can say everything you want, but if they hear it from a peer in the industry,
Yeah.
that's gold. That's the number one thing. The second thing is kind of come with third-party references. A great new one we have is the Forrester Total Economic Impact Study. It shows a 482% return on investment on GitLab Ultimate in 3 years. And they worked that out. I think that can be powerful.
Mhm.
Some people want kind of like, okay, but split out the return, like give me a conceptual framework. And I use 4 phases. When you switch from a bunch of point solutions to GitLab as a platform, you win in a couple of ways. The most basic layer is you save in licensing cost compared to buying like 4 security solutions and
Right.
JFrog Artifactory and GitHub and Jira and just licensing costs you save. But that's the least impactful part of it. much more important, you save on integration costs. You don't have all these costs to make these apps work with each other. If you use GitLab planning, it's automatically up to date. It's easier to put the build in the repository and reuse it for the deployment. You don't have to do all that integration work. Even more impactful, your people get more efficient. They don't have to go through 10 different apps to get something done. But I think the biggest business impact is the speed that you gain. 10 times faster cycle time, faster from, hey, we're going to do this to getting the result out there. And for every C-suite person I talk to, that's the most impactful lever.
Got it. I certainly agree, and that's helpful. Thank you. I think removing the swivel chair process, navigating the apps to deliver it faster, will resonate well with the C-suite. So very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, and then I don't know, I can't stop selling GitLab, but like
Sure.
the typically you're selling Ultimate, and it's about, hey, yes, you have the 5 best-in-class security solutions, but guess what? You're not using them for all your projects, and you're not using them for every change you make. It's people are overburdened. Let's shift security left, do it earlier, do it on every project that needs it, do it on every change, and prove that you've done it with compliance.
Very helpful. Thank you.
Thanks for the question. Love the forum for this. Emily.
Hey, I've got 2 questions. My first one is, what areas are we seeing demand from customers that are outpacing our ability to deliver?
Everywhere. So people always want more from GitLab, especially in the parts that they use. I think they think about planning. I think like, hey, we want custom fields so we can replace Jira in that application. When I think about our security offering, I cannot wait for advanced SAST, advanced static application security testing to land that makes our static security testing better for humans and better for AI. Can't wait for all the improvements we have planned for AI, like with our coding, the DaVinci projects to ship the abstract syntax tree as context to make the responses even better, faster code completion, all the stuff that we're working on with Duo Enterprise, including kind of resolving more and more of the security vulnerabilities with an automatic response. Duo Workflow, the agent things. I mentioned JFrog Artifactory. Want to support more types of repos. Want to support a dependency proxy. I think there's just demand all across the application. What we're focusing on are the parts that people heavily use. So create and verify, our source code management and CI parts, very heavily used, investing a ton there. And the parts that generate revenue. That is security, compliance, and AI. Although the revenue generation of AI it's in the future. It's not today. It's significant in outer years, but we see that growing fast.
And are we like hiring more to meet the demand, or are we just like selectively prioritizing like which one?
Both. We're on one hand, for some things, we're hiring more. We've also deprioritized things. We're of the DevSecOps part, we're investing relatively less in ops in order to free up investment for AI.
Okay, thank you. The second question is more about engineering. Do you see engineers at GitLab having to uplift with AI ML skills in general, or is it very much reserved for the AI ML specific teams?
No, I certainly see the former. Every engineer who's coding at GitLab should get familiar with AI ML technologies. Every significant portion of an application whether it's our own application, GitLab, or the applications that our customers make, is going to be infused with AI. AI just makes it is going to be combined with code to make applications work. So I think all of our engineers, if you are coding today, you should get familiar with how AI works. And we have specialized AI teams that kind of work on the AI proxies and the load balancing and making sure everything runs to quality control. Maybe you don't have to be an expert in that, but you should certainly know how to do prompt engineering and think about how you can apply AI to make your part of the application better. We have central AI teams for the central functionality, but most of the AI functionality in GitLab, in Duo Enterprise, it's made by the individual teams. It's not going to be like we have coders and AI engineers. No, we will have people that make our verify functionality, and they can both code and they can do prompt engineering.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for the question. I'm afraid to butcher your name, but I thank you for joining GitLab and asking a question.
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Ryuichiro Shinoki. Please call me just
Thank you.
Shinoki. Please call me just Shinoki. Yeah, I'm Channel Marketing Manager for Japan. My question is, I read an article which you mentioned that Tanuki can make stronger and power for Super Mario. And can you please let me know what kind of activities will make power and excitement for developers?
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, so our mascot, our GitLab logo, it's a Tanuki. And in Super Mario, if you get the Tanuki, you gain the ability to fly. So
Yes.
we want GitLab to be a superpower for developers, for security people, for operations people. What kind of activities will be exciting for developers? I think everyone wants a sense of progress in their job. So we help people get more done, and especially get it done more quickly. We talked before about 10 times faster cycle time, faster from, hey, I'm going to do this, to seeing the result and getting something out to users, seeing the result. That helps to keep motivated to build the next thing, because you get a response sooner. Nothing more frustrating than having to wait a long time to see the results of your work.
Yeah, thank you.
What's currently super exciting is all the developments in AI, like faster coding, but also faster everything throughout the application. I think that's a really exciting and fast development.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Justin, thanks for joining GitLab.
Yeah, thanks for taking our questions. I was just curious to hear if there's a potential security concern, whether something specific or more general that keeps you up at night.
Yeah, multiple ones. Not always keeping me up at night, luckily. But there's always risk, and if you look at why people pay us, more and more we're becoming a security vendor. People pay us for the sec part in DevSecOps. So the bar for how good we have to be in security is going up to keep having the trust of our customers. I'm worried about exploits in our code base, where you could do an API call or a prompt or something else in order to gain access to data of other customers. I'm worried about phishing scams, where people send mass emails or text or other means to our employees, trying to trick them into revealing their credentials. I worry about us making a mistake, like something that happened to CrowdStrike not too long ago, where due to a mistake of us, our customers have to deal with limited GitLab availability or worse, data loss. Where there's lots of things to worry about. I'm super relieved that we got great security teams. We got great leadership in the form of Josh. We even have red teams who like try to simulate it. We do book bounties for when people find things. We've never had a 0 day in the wild, but yeah, we do worry about them.
Thank you. Thanks.
Roger, thanks for joining GitLab.
Thanks, Sid. So thanks for your time today, Sid. The launch of Duo Enterprise has generated a lot of excitement, especially in the areas of practical capabilities that it brings to the table, such as root cause analysis, vulnerability resolution. So all these are very exciting. Now that we have launched Duo Enterprise, what are the top product areas that we will focus time and resources into developing in the next 12 months? Will the focus still be on Duo, or you'll be going back to the areas of our main solution and in the areas of security and things like that?
Thanks for that. If you look at kind of the top 3 priorities, I would say it's source code management and CI, the heavily used portion. Security and compliance, what people pay us for today. And Duo, the AI functionality, that's going to be a really important part of our future. We will keep the focus on all 3, and our focus on the AI is not going to decrease now that we ship Duo Enterprise. It's just a start. Now we got to make it better, add more functionality, make more things generally available, monitor the quality, scale it up as more people use it, make it easier to buy. Like there's lots of work to do. And with our Duo focus, it also comes in kind of 3 variants. Duo Pro, our coding. Want to make code completion faster. Code generation is already fast and good, but the helping you write the line, I think that could be faster. Duo Enterprise, get more of the functionality to GA. Make sure that the functionality that's used works on even more cases and is of even higher quality. It's more intuitive to use. And then Duo Workflow, have AI do more autonomously as an agent without humans in the loop. Like really take a lot of the boring works off humans and have the AI help with it. So yeah, lots of work to do, and we'll keep investing there.
Right. Sounds very good. Thanks, Sid.
Thank you too. Debbie, thanks for joining GitLab.
Hi, Sid. Thanks for your time today. So I just joined to cover the mid-market for Indonesia and Malaysia. So on our journey to become like a 1 billion company, and I think, or I hope that APJ or in emerging countries like Indonesia and Malaysia, that will become one of the biggest growth. But it also the ones with maybe on the lower strain when it comes to awareness. So what are your top of mind when it comes to things like short term or even things that we need to be mindful of when it comes to these 2 markets? Particularly these 2 markets are probably the markets where AWS or Google's are putting a lot of investment and focus on.
Yeah, thanks for that great question. I think what we have in Indonesia and Malaysia, which are obviously quite different countries by themselves, but I think one thing they have in common is that there's high GitLab usage in those countries, but that it's relatively it skews towards our free version. There's a low propensity to buy, and we have. You can please do correct me, but I don't think we offer kind of local support. And we gotta kind of invest appropriately in marketing, in localizing, and at the same time show growth and work with local partners to help people get value out of GitLab, get people familiar with the value they can derive when they go to a paid version. But it is, if you compare to the hyperclouds, like the hyperclouds, they have free tiers, but you basically run out very quickly. I think with our GitLab open source offerings, the GitLab open source product is amazing by itself, and there's a lot of work for us to do to articulate the value, to walk people through that, to convince them, but also help them realize the value after they purchased, and that's hard, and to a certain extent, every country needs a different approach and a different set of incentives and partners.
Great, thanks for that. Hoping to grow in this market.
Yeah, thanks for joining, and I think there's a ton of potential there. Every company needs to have great security, for example, and that's no different in Indonesia and Malaysia. So I hope that that offerings like GitLab Ultimate will resonate.
Certainly.
Cool. This ends the